Okay. So have you ever thought about how much tech is in our work lives?
It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
Yeah, it seems like just yesterday we had these giant server rooms
Yeah.
with all the blinking lights and
Oh, yeah.
the air conditioning blasting.
Yeah.
And now we have AI booking our meetings.
It's insane how much things have changed.
It's pretty wild. And that's kind of what we're diving into today, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This whole evolution of enterprise software.
Yeah, from those clunky servers to AI that can practically run businesses on their own.
Yeah, and to help guide us on this journey, we're using these excerpts from The Evolution of Enterprise Software, from data centers to AI agents.
Catchy title.
Yeah, it is a good title. And what's really cool about it is it kind of breaks this whole evolution down into three distinct eras:
Oh, okay.
ownership, subscription, and consumption.
Makes sense. So kind of like how we interact with this software, right?
Yeah, exactly. So how we think about buying it, how we use it, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And I think what's really interesting is each era, it's not like it completely replaces the last one. It kind of builds on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Each one kind of paves the way for the next and sort of lays the groundwork for what's to come.
Yeah, it's like a tech evolution, but it's also a business evolution at the same time.
Absolutely, because it changes the way that companies operate, the way that they think about their tech stack, the way they think about their workforce, everything.
Totally. And to really see that evolution, we should probably start back in the beginning with the ownership era.
Okay. So back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking 1990 to around 2010.
Okay.
And picture this, right? You've got these massive data centers.
Oh, yeah.
You've got companies buying software outright.
You go to the store.
Yeah.
You buy a CD-ROM.
Exactly.
You install it on your computer.
Yeah. And Microsoft was the king of this era, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Windows Office, the cornerstones of any office.
Yeah, you couldn't escape Microsoft.
No, every computer you'd walk up to had Windows on it.
It was everywhere. And they weren't the only ones. I mean, there was companies like Bayan.
Bayan, yeah, they were huge.
Yeah, huge in the ERP space, so helping companies kind of streamline all their operations.
Yeah, that's the back office stuff, right? Making sure everything runs smoothly.
Exactly. And even back then, you could see the seeds of change being planted.
Oh, how so?
So virtualization technologies started to emerge.
Okay.
Right? And then AWS comes onto the scene and just explodes everything.
Right, because AWS was the beginning of the cloud.
Yeah, exactly. And what they did was they said, okay, forget owning all this expensive hardware.
Yeah.
What if you could just rent the computing power that you need?
When you need it.
When you need it, exactly. And that just blew the doors wide open for smaller businesses.
Yeah, democratized access.
Yeah, exactly. Because suddenly they could access the same level of computing power as these giant corporations.
Right. You didn't have to have millions of dollars to set up your own data center.
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about this evolution is that each step, it makes technology more accessible to more people.
Absolutely. And that really leads us into the next era, right? The subscription era.
Yeah. So this is where things start to get really interesting.
Oh.
This is where software eats the world becomes the mantra.
Oh, yeah.
And we start to see the rise of these platforms like Slack and Zoom.
Oh, yeah. The ones that changed the way we work entirely.
Exactly. And it's all built on this idea of subscription-based models, right? So SaaS.
Software as a service.
Exactly. So instead of buying software outright,
You pay a monthly fee.
you pay a monthly fee and you access it over the internet.
Which makes it way easier for people to use it because you don't have to install anything.
Exactly. It's just there and it's constantly being updated.
Yeah, so you always have the latest version.
Always have the latest version. And I think what's really interesting about this era is how much these platforms integrated themselves into our daily lives.
Oh, yeah. It's we don't even think about it anymore. It's just second nature to us.
Yeah, we Zoom meetings, we Slack messages, these have become verbs.
They've become part of our language.
Exactly. And this whole shift to remote work that happened during the pandemic.
Oh, yeah. That just accelerated everything.
It just kicked it into overdrive.
Because suddenly everyone needed these tools to stay connected.
Yeah. And companies like Gone and Clary, which help sales teams and revenue operations.
Right. So tools that help businesses run smoothly.
Yeah, they just became lifelines for businesses trying to navigate this whole new world of remote work.
Yeah, because you couldn't just walk down the hall and talk to your colleague anymore.
Exactly. You had to have these tools to stay connected and to make sure everything was running smoothly.
And that leads us to where we are now, right? The consumption era.
Yeah, so this is the era of AI-powered growth.
Okay, so things are getting even more sophisticated.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about like AI that can generate content, analyze data, even assist with decision-making.
So it's not just about having the tools anymore, it's about what you do with them.
Exactly. It's about using these tools to actually drive measurable impact on your business.
So it's like focusing on outcomes rather than just outputs.
Yeah. And the tools themselves are evolving to reflect this shift.
Okay, so give me an example.
So like OpenAI and ALG.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
So they can like write marketing copy, they can analyze huge data sets, and they can even help you make strategic decisions.
That's wild. So it's like having a team of AI experts at your fingertips.
Exactly. And then you've got companies like ServiceNow and Snowflake.
I know those names.
Yeah, they're not just about like data storage or workflow management.
Right.
They're about using AI to drive sustainable growth.
Like they're taking all the best parts of the previous eras and adding this layer of intelligence on top.
Exactly. And the future of this era is even more mind-blowing. We're talking about AI agent marketplaces.
AI agent marketplaces, what's that?
So imagine like a place where you can go and rent specialized AI.
So like if I need an AI to write me a blog post, I can just go and rent one.
Exactly. Or if you need an AI to analyze your sales data or even run your marketing campaigns.
It's incredible.
And then you've got autonomous go-to-market systems, which are like AI that can practically run your entire sales and marketing operations.
So it's like software is becoming more and more autonomous.
Yeah. It's like we're giving the keys to the AI and saying, okay, take the wheel.
Which is exciting, but also a little bit scary.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so-
But I think it all comes back to that key takeaway that enterprise software has always evolved to meet the changing needs of businesses.
And this history teaches us something really important. Adaptability is key.
Yeah.
The future of AI-driven enterprise solutions belongs to the companies and the individuals who are ready to not just adopt these new technologies, but to really leverage them for real impact.
To really understand them and figure out how to use them to their advantage.
Absolutely, because these tools are incredibly powerful, but they're only as good as the people who are using them.
That's a good point. So I guess the big question for everyone listening is like,
Yeah.
if software went from being something you owned to something you rented to something that can practically think for itself, what's next?
Right, that's the million-dollar question.
Yeah. And what does that mean for your work, for your industry, for your future?
It's definitely something to think about as we continue to navigate this ever-evolving landscape of enterprise software.
Because one thing's for sure, it's not slowing down anytime soon.
Absolutely. If anything, it's just going to keep accelerating.
So buckle up, everybody.
It's going to be a wild ride.
It's going to be a wild ride.
Yeah.
And on that note, that's our deep dive into the evolution of enterprise software.
It's been a fascinating journey.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
has. And hopefully everyone listening has like a better understanding of where we've been and where we're headed.
And maybe even some ideas about how to prepare for the future.
Yeah, exactly. Because as we've seen, the only constant in the world of enterprise software is change.
And those who can adapt will thrive.
So stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay ahead of the curve.
That's the key to success in this rapidly evolving world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks.
And thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time.
See you later.